Welcome to Ever-Changing Technology, where we break down the latest trends and innovations shaping our world. I'm your host, Jim Bradfield. Today, I'm joined again by Dr. Sean Hamilton, a visionary strategist and modern Renaissance man. With years of experience leading technology teams across industries from IT to healthcare to telecom, Dr. Sean is known for solving complex challenges with innovation that truly makes a difference. Dr. Sean, welcome again to the show.
Hi, Jim. It's great to be back.
Good to have you, man. All right. So families I speak with about AI and machine learning seem to be freaked out about it. Now, their questions center around the future of their jobs, the potential future negative effects of AI and machine learning on their children as it relates to their finding jobs. So, Dr. Sean, what should my child expect for work when they graduate? Is AI and machine learning going to take over all those entry-level jobs and crush the new workforce?
I don't think that it'll actually take over the entry-level jobs. I think it's going to go more towards the unskilled worker. So really, when you're looking at it, it's those entry-level jobs. And with AI, one thing I like to call augmented intelligence, meaning that AI is going to work alongside of those entry-level positions, help them research and find things much quicker, being able to do a lot more with a lot less, and having them be able to really function with their brain and really focus on their expertise versus some of the menial tasks. We all been there where you have to go around, get coffee and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, I guess the biggest thing that I've been talking to people on the sidelines at my grandkids' soccer games, they're all worried about is what functions are going to be replaced by AI technology, like we talked about before, factory workers, teachers, laborers, legal aides, nurses, things like that. I mean, can you get a little bit more granular about really who's going to be affected?
Yeah, I would say there's going to be, especially in education, there's going to be a little bit of a shift. And I feel that there'll probably be some type of overwatch, AI overwatch, where that the AI system can assist the teacher with the curriculum and really pay attention to if the children are getting it or the students are getting it, and also at the same time kind of give real-time feedback to the teacher, because sometimes, especially when you're engrossed in a lesson, you may not really be able to pay attention to every single child or student in your classroom. So it's important to be able to have that ability to really have that overwatch and have the system saying, hey, this student may be struggling or may need a little bit more extra attention, or at the same time be able to answer certain questions that maybe the teacher doesn't have in the textbook.
Interesting. So again, my daughter is actually an online teacher for ASU, and they do online programming and all that kind of thing. My granddaughter goes to school there as well, online. Now, what kind of subjects are those that are going to be replaced and more towards AI? Is that going to be like math and that kind of thing, or what are we talking about?
I think generalized subjects are still going to be germane to every single education. It's just more about having access to greater pensiums of information that we didn't have before. We were limited to textbooks, or hey, here's your required reading. Now you could really go off topic and kind of dive in and drill down a little bit more into these educational subjects. So one thing that everybody's been saying is, especially in the United States, is a lot of the students have been left behind. So this would give them the opportunity to really catch up and understand a little bit more contextual the subject matter.
Yeah, and I guess let's talk a little bit more about that teaching thing because it's kind of near and dear to my heart. My sister does it. My mom was she's a retired teacher, and like I said, my daughter is a teacher. So, and they're online teachers. So now one of the things that it's interesting because my granddaughter is doing this Spanish class online, right? And so it's a bunch of different kinds of programs and things like that that they're learning. Now, that's the kind of thing that I would see as being something that AI technology is going to be really good for. Something that's rote and you can develop it for the kids, right? Is that pretty much what we're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, with AI, also the augmented reality and virtual reality. So bringing all of that into the classroom just changes the entire experience. Like for instance, you could be learning Spanish in Barcelona, right? That's to me, that's going to really engage people because now you're not looking at a dry textbook. You're almost immersing the individual in the language. And I feel that that's what's going to stick a little bit better than just standard repetition.
It's interesting you mentioned Barcelona because that's my daughter is teaching the Bartha Academy guys, right? So all the kids that go to Bartha Academy for soccer. So that's kind of interesting. I never brought that up to you, but I knew that's really interesting. And I think should we tell the kids to learn more about AI and chat and all that kind of thing? I mean, what do they really
I mean,
need to learn?
absolutely. They need to start immersing themselves in it, but they already have, right? See, I think it's more of the older generation that is worried for the younger generation. I think
Yes.
the younger really kind of already get it. They just didn't know what it's called. They've already been using Alexa, they've already been using, Google AI, they've already been using Microsoft AI. So when you start looking at all of that, they're already introduced to this technology and using it. So I don't think that there's a huge gap there. I feel that, like I said, on the work side, and we did spend some time just on the teacher side of things, but it's the most important because that's really what's molding our future leaders and molding our individuals that are going to be taking these jobs, especially when we retire.
Well, so the interesting thing is now who is programming that AI and how is it being programmed to be able to do all these things?
So there's different models that they're using, and so basically there's a Da Vinci, there's 4.5, and so what that does is it allows you to get a level set of information. And what I mean by that is, like, for instance, you'd say, when was UVA founded, right? It could
Hmm.
tell you that. And so that's when they're talking about those large language models and those different models that they're using that they can connect to. So these models are growing and growing, and you've probably seen with Chat GTP that there's also the different models you can connect to.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been seeing too. And what's interesting is the kids, I guess it's more of those older people that haven't had that experience. And we're seeing it now and we're hearing about it. And it's kind of, like I said, initially freaking us out because we're all sitting there looking at it and going, whoa, this is going to replace everybody. What are we going to do? But it seems like what you've just been saying is that, hey, really not. It's going to augment you almost everybody. And I mean, that seems like the correct statement, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, essentially what's going to happen is you've got to make sure that when you're going to college and you're learning these kind of things, you're staying abreast of all these AI kinds of things, but you're learning higher and higher skill sets, right? It's not just what I might have learned back in college, but what the kids need to learn now to really be valuable and understand how to use the AI to supplement their their learning and supplement their business, right?
Correct. And using it more on the creative side of your brain and being able to really, all the repetitive things and things that you had to learn before, AI can do for you. So now you could really be creative. And the other thing you have to kind of think about is, just like with every industrial revolution, we've always had fear. We're now in the fifth wave. The fifth wave is what we would call Industry 5.0, which is then personalization. So things are going to be more personalized, where you have the interaction between machine and humans.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Well, so basically what you're saying is that AI is going to be able to actually help everybody.
Correct.
So the cool thing is that parents on the sidelines, don't worry about it. Your kids are learning the right kinds of things and they're developing it and integrating it, and they don't even know they're doing it.
Correct.
So that's awesome. All right. So we'll be right back. And up next, we're going to be talking about AI in the legal profession. And again, that's one of the things that these people have really been concerned about. They've been asking me, what are we going to do? Because I know a lot of attorneys. So these guys are looking to see whether or not it's going to be a friend or foe for lawyers. So stay tuned.